Reddy Maths YouTube channel bonus video. Today we've got a little mini competition just to celebrate hitting 500 subscribers on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this. Just a little bit of an introduction to a certain number and then a little competition with a few prizes that I'll explain to you at the end. So I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to the bonus video for half term from the Reddy Maths YouTube channel. This is a special video and a little mini competition really, just to celebrate getting to 500 subscribers. Firstly, can I just say thank you so much to anybody who's watched any of the videos that I've put out over the past 5 weeks or so. We've put 2 weeks on mental mathematics, a week on early years, about 7 days on place value, and at the moment we're in the middle of multiplication videos looking at a range of different strategies. I've been so pleased with all the feedback that I've got from so many people on the videos, and I just thought, kind of as a little celebration, I'll put a little mini competition together for anybody who's tuning in over half term. I'll show you the competition first of all, and then what I'll do is I'll just show you the prize that I'm going to be giving away at the end of this competition. Let's start off by taking a look at the apparatus on the table. As you can look around, there's a range of different resources that we put on the table. This is kind of a link back to the first ever introduction video when we looked at a certain number. So let's have a quick look at the hundreds, the tens and the ones. We'll look at the base 10 set up further down. Have a quick look at the dice. What can you notice about the dice? As we move along, we can see place value counters. We can see £5 and some cakes. We can see the 100 squares. Lots of sweet jars from the company Sweet Counter, and from the same company you can see some lollipops with prices on. Last but not least, over here we've got a range of different abacuses of different sizes. So what's the connection between all of those different items of mathematical apparatus? Hopefully what you've noticed is they're all connected to the number 500. To celebrate 500 subscribers. Let's have a quick look first of all at the sweets. What do we notice? Well, we're looking at a lot of the things that we've been discussing in the place value session. We can see 4 100s. We can then see 9 10s, like packets of 10 sweets, set out in 5 style, as we've talked about a lot. That gives us 490. And this time set out in dice style, we can see 2 5s. So 4 100s, 9 10s, 2 5s or 10 1s altogether give us 500. Looking down at the place value counters. Have a look at that, just pause the video. Why is that 500? Hopefully what we can see is, looking at the top, we can see 278. And again, I hope you can see how we've set that out 5 style so it's easy to read. Making that point, if those 10s or those 1s were in a straight line, you'd have to count them, whereas you can look straight away and just see 7 10s and 8 1s. And then consistently underneath, 2 100s, 2 10s and 2 1s. Why is that 500? Well, let's just put them together for a second. What we can see now are 4 100s, 9 10s and 10 1s. I won't actually do it, but if we were to exchange those 10 1s for a 10, we'd then have 10 10s. We exchange those 10 10s for 100, we'd have 500s. At the moment, we've got 400, 90 and 10. Moving over to the place value counters, what we've done there is actually created the same numbers in the same colour scheme, because obviously these come from the same company, EdTech. We can see 200, 70 and 8, and next to it 200, 7 10s and 8 1s. We can see 200, 20 and 2, 200, 2 10s and 2 1s. Just looking above, we've got a couple of other ways to make 500, 340 at 160 and 300 at 200. So again, we can use these resources in many, many different ways. Looking at the abacuses, I think this is my personal favourite view of 500. What we can see there are 5 abacuses. Each abacus has 100 beads. But there's a lot more we can say about the numbers if we want to. I think the first thing that stands out straight away is each of the hundreds is 4 25s. But we can also see the 10s, we can also see the 1s. And as we've looked at on many of the other videos, we can manipulate those numbers in lots of different ways. So you can see 500 1s, because there's 100 in each abacus. You can see 50 10s, because there's 10 10s in each abacus. And you can see 500s, because there's 100 in each abacus. You can also see 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 25s, and many other things as well. What I want to do now is very, very quickly look at the lollipops and why are they 500. I'm sure you can probably guess that if you add them together, you'll end up at 500 pence or £5. But I just want to hark back to the first week of the first ever video that we did for mental arithmetic. How could we add them together using the strategy of number bonds? Which ones would go together? Let's just pause, have a quick look, let's see if you can work those out. So what I'm going to do with the 85 is I'm going to put the 15 pence lolly, that will make £1. With the 75 pence lolly, I'll put the very cheap 25 pence one, which will be another £1. With the 65 pence lolly, I will put the 35. Luckily, the two Christmas tree lollies are already together, so we're already at £4. Then we've got 65 pence. I'll put the 5 with that to make 70. I'll put the 20 with the 10 to make 30. And that will give us £1, £2, £3, £4, £4.70, and 30p gives us £5. As we can see directly above the cakes, we can see 5 100 squares. They will kind of match up with the abacus. Obviously you can see that there are 100 on each square, and 5 of them will give us 500. And finally, that brings us down to the cakes. And this is kind of an open-ended activity. It could be fairly straightforward. I could say that the £5 is what it cost me to buy the 4 sprinkly cakes. How much was each cake? In which case it will be £1.25. £5 for the 2 chocolate cakes, £2.50 each. £5 for the 10 lemon cakes, 50p a piece. Or £5 for the 5 strawberry cakes. Again, that will be £1 each. I think a better activity though is to say, okay, it was £5 in total to buy all of the cakes. How much was each cake? And just let the children think, well, a lemon cake could be this, a strawberry cake could be this, a sprinkles cake could be this, and a chocolate cake could be this, and try and work out. And there's many, probably hundreds and hundreds of different answers that would work. So again, that would be quite a nice activity to do. So what I've tried to show is a kind of a hark back to that first ever video I did where I took the number 48 and put it on the table and showed you 48 in loads and loads of different ways. I've done the same today with the number 500. Great activity for around about year 3. How many ways can you show me the number 500 using resources from around the room? You know, the possibilities, you know, you've got an infinite number of possibilities of ways of showing the number 500. The other thing that I asked you to do in the first ever video was to think about 500, or 48 as it was then, to think about 48 in the real world. Let's think about 500 now. What does that look like in the real world? What other facts do I know about 500 other than what I can make on the table? Looking at the board then, you can see a range of different facts about 500. I've got some of the obvious ones from the curriculum and a couple of more obscure ones. Why is half a kilogram linked to 500? Well, there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so 500 grams in half a kilogram. Similarly, 500 millilitres in half a litre and 500 metres in half a kilometre. There's even 500 years in half a millennium, because a millennium is 1,000 years. Interestingly, 5 centuries is also 500 years, just in a different way. 100 years in 1 century, 500 years in 5 centuries. Just moving up to the top one, 5 metres, well, there's 100 centimetres in 1 metre, so there's 500 centimetres in 5 metres. Having a quick look at the other two, I just came up with a couple of more random facts about 500. Why is 500 8 hours and 20 minutes? Well, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, therefore there's 480 minutes in 8 hours and another 20 minutes. And kind of what would that equate to throughout a day? If you got up at a certain time, where would you be 500 minutes later? Last but not least, just a simple little fact about mileage. Glasgow to Plymouth is about 500 miles. Thinking about all the way up in Scotland, almost to the other end of the country, and that would take 500 miles. So hopefully that's going to set us up for the competition that I'm now going to show you. So after looking at 500 in loads of different ways, both with mathematical apparatus and on the board, let me just give you the competition. What I'm going to be doing is just setting you a really simple little activity, and basically just get in touch with me via email with your answers to this competition. It's very straightforward. What I want you to do is just basically tell me anything interesting about the number 500. You can make it, you can video it, you can create it in different ways. You can think of any facts at all associated with 500, anything at all that just kind of puts a little bit of fun into 500. So tell me something fun about the number 500. If If you then send that to me at my email, which I'm going to put on the board in a second, and I'm just going to basically choose my favourite fact or visual or image, about 500, and then I'm going to send you a prize. Let's have a quick look at the competition prize. What you can see in front of you is a rapid recall whiteboard. This is a year 4 example, and these come from a company called Propeller. I've been using rapid recall whiteboards for probably around about 5 or 6 years, and they're one of the best things that I've ever seen for developing children's arithmetic skills, both the reasoning and the fluency at the same time. The way they work are as follows. You can see there in the top left hand corner I've written the number 48. Now that could be any number from 30 to 60. What you can then do is ask the children to use that number, and wherever you see a green circle or a green star, you write in the number 48, and then basically perform a whole series of different mathematical calculations. So what I'm going to do now is just pause the video for a second. I'm going to write the number 48 in, and we'll look at a few different activities. Okay, so I've not filled in the complete board, but I've just shown you a few ideas of how the Propeller Rapid Recall boards work. If I look down here, just put the number 48 in, relatively straightforward, write the answer in words, 10 more than 48, 100 subtract 48, and 50 more than 48. So it's some that are relatively straightforward. Again, quite like that there, the number bonds diagram, where you can see 100, 48, and then what number goes with 48 to make 100. Then the children have got to write the 4 associated facts. Again, that's quite good for practice. We've got a number line here, where I've got 0 to 100, where would the number 48 go? Over on the right hand side, these are quite nice, where the children have got to just write the number 48 in, complete a whole series of calculations, and then put a greater than, less than, or equal sign. Moving down, again superb for practicing multiplication facts, which are the facts that are actually bigger than 48. So the children have got to work them all out and know which are bigger and which are smaller. And then finally, write which one is closest to 48. And I think with that one, there should be a couple actually that are bob on. Moving down, I've actually got one that I just completed there, just to give an idea of a number string. Again, this is a lovely activity to do, and just change the number and maybe just spend 10 minutes in one lesson using different numbers on this one. So 48, you double it, you add 20, you half it, you subtract 10, and then you add 100. You actually end up with a number that was 100 more than what you started off with. And again, that's something you could then discuss with the children. That's a really nice reasoning activity. I've left my favourite 2 sections to the end. You have 48 friends coming to visit. How many packs should you buy so they can have 1 of each item? So potato chips, 10 bags per pack. How many bags will you need? 3 bottles per pack. How many packs will you need? And 8 biscuits per pack. Now obviously with 48, that one's not too bad, but if we've chosen a prime number like 37, it's a little bit more complicated. And finally, this is quite good because this challenges the children to think about other facts that they need to know in year 4. So 48 plus the number of seconds in a minute will give us 108. 48 pence plus 52 pence equals a pound. 48 seconds plus how many seconds equals 2 minutes. So again, that's quite an interesting one. They've got to add the 12 and then an extra 60 and so on. So what you can see, there's a really good range of activities that children can do using the Rapid Recall whiteboards. And they're also double-sided. If I turn this board over, you can see on the other side, we're now using a 3-digit number. So from 350 to 450. And there's a whole series of other activities. Now what I want to do just really quickly is I'm going to just take a quick shot of each of the other whiteboards so you can see what they look like for each of the different year groups. First of all, year 3. Moving on to year 2. Now let's take a quick look at year 1. The year 1 board, actually, when you turn it over, this is using numbers to 10. And as you turn it over for the kind of second term onwards, or the second half term, you're now using numbers to 20. Let's have a quick look at year 5. There's the year 5 board. That one covers areas such as area and perimeter, and also Roman numerals. And finally, the Year 6 board. You can see there's a complete range of different activities on the Year 6 board. You've got angles, you've got fractions, you've got multiplication and division, you've got percentages. And on the other side, again, you can see Roman numerals again, and lots of different calculation strategies. So, absolutely fantastic prize. What Propeller have agreed is that the winner of the competition can have a set of 15 of a board of their choice. What you're looking at here is the Year 2 board. So if you're a Year 2 teacher or teaching assistant, that might be the appropriate one to choose. But you can choose any of them from 1 to 6, and Propeller will send you 15 of those boards. You'll also get, with the boards, 15 of the pens that go with them, and you'll also get 15 of the whiteboard rubbers as well. So you get a full half-class set of each of those. Absolutely superb. As I say, I've used these so much over the past few years. I find that children absolutely love them. They can be used in little short spells, looking at each of the different sections, or they can be used maybe towards the end of a half term. Once the children have practiced the different sections, you can then give them maybe 15-20 minutes to fill in the whole one side of the board. So they are a really, really popular resource and brilliant for developing arithmetic skills. As a runner-up prize is the 1 to 120 number grid from Sense of Number. Again, this shows, we've used this in quite a few of the videos, this shows you all the numbers from 1 to 120, but unlike a normal 100 square, first of all it goes beyond 100, and secondly you can see it has the base 10 images for each of the numbers. Again, that's produced by Sense of Number, and there's one of those as a runner-up prize. So all you need to do in order to win is just to send me your favourite fun fact about 500. As I say, it can be just a pure fact, it can be a visual, it can be a little video, it can be anything that you want that kind of makes me laugh or is a little bit entertaining, that shows me something about the number 500. I'll look over all of them, and again, the best one, or well, not the best one, but my favourite one will win the whiteboards. My second favourite one will win one of the number grids. All that you need to do is send off your answer or your video or your clip to readymademaths@gmail.com. You can title it Fun Facts About 500 and just leave me your name, your school and which year group you'd like if you'd win. Once again, thank you so much to anybody who's watched any of the videos that have been put out on the Ready Made Maths YouTube channel so far. Even if you've only watched 1 or 2, thank you so much for watching. And to anybody who's subscribed, thank you even more. It's absolutely brilliant to see 500 subscribers on the channel, and hopefully we can get more and more over the next few weeks. You will see the continuation of the multiplication strategy videos next week. And tomorrow, as promised, I'm going to be putting out the division video so you can see the bus stop method or the standard method of short division shown with apparatus. But for now, for number 500, fun facts about 500, I look forward to receiving some of your different entries. And as I say, next week, I'll let you know who the winner is. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. And as we saw in the ready-made classroom, what a fantastic prize. The Rapid Recall whiteboards come from Propeller Education. They're available for years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You can see here, this is the pack this is the multi-pack that contains boards for all 6 year groups, but they can all be bought individually as well. Every time you buy a set, it comes complete with the board rubbers that you can see here, and also with the markers as well. Well worth having a look at Propeller Education's website, because there's many other products that they put together. Really good stuff for fluency, for reasoning, and for developing mathematical understanding. So do take a look at Propeller Education for some great ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that quite a few people will enter the competition, and I look forward to seeing all the different things you can come up with about the number 500. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week for the remainder of the multiplication videos.